Hi, this is Dr. Kish. Welcome back to my virtual holistic office. And this is part 2. We are discussing today epigenetics and how our environment affects our body's biology. And it's way beyond just our genes that we were born with, because we want to clarify that just because someone has diabetes or a disease in your family, it doesn't mean that you are necessarily going to have that same issue. And we're going to provide solutions after we explain this to you, how to create the biology that would be beneficial to you, meaning wellness. Okay? All right, so I believe the last thing I was talking about was theta, the brain frequency in the womb, 0 to 7 years of age, and the conscious and unconscious mind. So while you're in the womb, you're at a delta frequency, and you can hear things, but in the last trimester, you start downloading information, and when you come out, you're in theta, and theta is the second phase of the brain from 0 to 7, where you're downloading information because you just arrived. You're in this environment out of the stomach, and you are taking in information to know how to survive. So the environment that's around you, whether you were raised in Italy or Germany or United States, or by a male or female, whoever, whatever was your environment, is stored now in your brain, in the subconscious, which is what we use 95% of the time. So the way that this works is from 0 to 7, as you're getting to know the world. For example, walking. Do you remember when you started walking and when they taught you? Most likely not. But it's stored in your brain, okay? So now it's a habit. It's automatic. That's the subconscious. Or driving a car. When you first got in the car, you're like, I'm going to put the keys in. I'm going to look in the rearview mirror. I'm going to put the car in reverse. You go through all these steps. But now, years later, you just drive. So that's what I'm talking about, the difference between the conscious and the subconscious, and how the subconscious can just take over because it's habits. All right. Now, how does this affect genes? Well, the body internal, your cells, okay, are nourished through the blood. And the blood carries the chemicals and the hormones that get released from the brain. And the brain decides on what chemicals to release based on the mind. And no two minds are alike. And whatever you have downloaded from that experience, okay, that reminds you of that experience, is what it'll tell the brain to release the chemicals. The chemicals will either say this is good or bad. And then the organs and the cells and tissues and your biology receives it. Okay, so this is how your thoughts can control your health. Because we're only conscious 5% of the time. Now, when we talk about conscious and subconscious, let's show the differences. A conscious mind is a creative mind. It's the part of us that has the identity, the spirituality. I'm going to become this. I'm interested in that. It's the driving part. It's your wishes, desires. I was writing down aspirations. That's your conscious mind. But your subconscious mind is like a machine, a video recorder. And it records programs that were never yours. I mean, you can remember some things from 0 to 7, but it's 95% of the brain. And so you're recording information from 0 to 7 about the environment and how to live. But as you live life, and you see things and observe things, right? You're conscious of it, but after a while, the subconscious takes over. And a great example of this is a relationship like marriage, or someone that's together a long time, or you're moving with somebody. So let's say you meet somebody and you're in love, and all of a sudden you're conscious and everything tastes better, and your crappy job is better, it's not so bad, or, something bad happens, you're like, it's okay. Why? Because you're in a conscious mind of feeling such joy that your mind is telling the brain, I'm so happy, it's releasing chemicals. The chemicals are good hormones, good chemicals that go into your organs, and it's a healthy signal. But then let's say a year after you're married to somebody, all of a sudden you start seeing this different personality, and the other person doesn't see it. But then you're like, oh my gosh, this guy is acting just like his parents, or this wasn't the way he used to act when he was in love. So this is called like an acquired belief system. You got it from somebody else. You start acting like your mother, your father, your society, if you're from Italy or from France, okay? Or maybe a very European lifestyle, something like that. But remember, it's just files that have gotten stored. So, how does the conscious mind switch over to the subconscious? I want you to remember about getting in the car and driving home. You get in the car, you put your keys, you drive home. Next thing you know, you're home. How does that subconscious mind take over? Well, when we start thinking, we're in our environment and we start thinking, as soon as you start thinking, the subconscious will take over for your old habits, your old filing system. And then those chemicals are released from the brain, from the information from the mind, and it goes into your blood. And then it gives your organs and your body a state of either health or not healthy. All right? Okay, so let's talk about how do we reprogram our subconscious brain. And don't worry, there's ways to do it. One of the ways that I have done myself, and I also do in my office for other people, which if you want to contact me for this, we can talk about it. It's a healing of the subconscious or reprogramming of the subconscious through frequency. And it's getting the brain into a state where the right and left brain hemispheres are connected, which we call alpha. And during that state, we download a frequency associated with words like sadness and love and trust, because these words, sadness, love, and trust, integrity, remember, that comes from ages 0 to 7, and we may want to upgrade that if we're not having the life and joy that we wish and desire. So one of the, I call it the natural solutions, is to heal your brain, update your files, and gain a new file to pull out when the subconscious takes over, because it's 95% of the time. It's very exciting. I've had such success with it over the years, and like I said, I've used it. I did it for myself years ago, and I can't wait to share it with you. This is something that you can do from your mobile phone because it involves a binaural stimulation with headphones that you can do right from an app. And in my description box, I will put the app for you to go in and take a free test. And if you're interested, then you can contact me and we can talk right about it. And you can start today to start upgrading your files to something that you choose instead of somebody else's acquired information.